primitive is a great decorating style because it's really forgiving, isn't it? All you have to do is find the right store, find the right antiques, find the right accessories, buy them, take them home, and lump them together in your house, and voila, you have primitive. Well, I've decided I want more of a challenge than that, and let me tell you what I'm doing. Hi, I'm Ann Clay from The Primitive Home, and today we're going to talk about minimalism and my journey through this decluttering project. See, here's the thing. I've had way too much stuff in my house. Usually, if you move to a new home, you have that time to live with it empty and get settled and slowly fill it. But when I've been living here, I came with a full house. I accepted everything everyone gave me, and I didn't know really what kind of decorating style I wanted to go with. I was kind of torn between farmhouse and primitive, and I really didn't know which way to go. Now, of course, those two blend together really well. I also throw in a little vintage and a little comfort in the middle of the whole mix. So I really got confused. And pretty soon, because I have a decorating channel and because I kept going shopping and getting new things so I could give you guys new rooms and new ideas, I ended up with a whole lot of clutter. And suddenly I realized that clutter is something that triggers me. Now, this doesn't happen for everyone. Some people love to have their clutter around, and if you do, that is fine. Please don't think that I am telling you to get rid of all your clutter if it makes you comfortable. But I found out for myself, I'm not comfortable in clutter. I found out that I can't create when I'm in clutter. I start to get overwhelmed. I'm very ADD, and so I bounce around looking at thing to thing to thing to thing. Not only that, I don't like to clean at all. And the more clutter you have around the house, really, the less I was cleaning, because I'd have to push it and move it and dust around it. And oh man, you know, if there's clutter on the floor and then you kind of vacuum around it, and you miss all those spots that you really should be getting into because you're just giving it a quick run around. Anyway, it was time to get rid of the clutter. And so guys, that's what I've been doing for the last month. And it's taken over my life. That's all I've been doing. I've been videoing some of it, but I haven't really been showing you everything there. So here's the deal. This is what I found out about decluttering and minimalizing my house in terms of decorating. I would recommend that everybody do a deep clean out, one room at a time. So what I did is I went into my room, I got rid of all the curtains. Yes, the curtains. Yes, the curtains looked beautiful. There was nothing wrong with them. They were perfect. By getting rid of them, I mean, I put them in another room on the bed. I'm gonna store them for a little while. I just wanted things to be clear and clean. I wanted a fresh palette. I'm lucky enough to live in a house that is 250 years old, and I wanted to reflect the architecture of the home. After all, that's why I bought the home. I didn't buy the home to fill it with all kinds of stuff to make it look cute. I bought the home because the home itself all alone looked really great. And so I have been cluttering it up and losing some of the great architectural elements in the home, like the small paned wavy windows, or the great old architectural doors that were just made with boards and old hinges, or the wonderful wide plank pine flooring. I was missing all of that because of all my beautiful decor, and I wanted to expose it and look back at that. After all, isn't that what I'm paying for when I buy an old house? I'm paying for the history. I'm paying for the look. Now, the second thing that I wanted to do was be authentic in my decorating. So I actually had to look at everything and evaluate it and say, would they have this in a house in the 1780s? And if they did have it in the house, how many of them would they have in the house? What would be the uses for it? What room would it actually turn up in? Now, there's nothing wrong with doing a collection of crocks or bowls in your living room. If you have that collection, go for it. I wanted to keep my crocks and bowls in the rooms where they would have originally been used. So I'm going for the kitchen. Now, basically, it's a little bit skewed here because what I know as the tavern was actually the kitchen in 1780, but in the early 1800s, we ended up with a kitchen from which I'm sitting in, and then another kitchen next door. And when this turned into a restaurant, we ended up with two kitchens. So for me, my two kitchens have served as one as a cooking kitchen and one as an eating kitchen and storing some of my dishes. Which brings me to another clutter monster of mine, is plates and dishes. Oh my goodness. You know, you'd think if you can just put your dishes away in a cabinet, there should be no problem. But there's something about storing everything, isn't there? It's called mice. In an old farmhouse, there are mice. Even though I have a cat who rummages through the basement trying to keep the mice down, they have figured out that they can come up here and they can avoid every critter possible. And they find these little places to crawl in and little places to hide. And when they start getting in my stuff, it ruins my stuff or it just grosses me out, which means that I have to clean in all my cupboards much more than I would ordinarily have to because I tend to get those little critters in there. And we have this no-kill rule in our home that I am soon changing because I'm done. I didn't want to kill the cute little things. We've been catching and releasing them, but it's getting to the point that they're going. All right. So let's get back to clearing out the house, okay? If you clear out a whole room, right? You take off the curtains, you take everything off the walls, you take everything off the furniture, everything that your visible eye can see, and just look at the furniture in your room and see what you really love. Look at your furniture and say, are those two things more crowded than I'd like them to be? What is my eye going to? What stands alone? What is really making me happy in this room? What do I want to focus on this room? What do I want to diminish in this room? Because we all have things we want to accentuate and things that we want to diminish. Now, I found that when I had too many great things in a room, you noticed nothing. It ended up feeling more like an antique store. And yeah, I love to walk into an antique store, but I was feeling overwhelmed by the whole thing. And then I started to feel guilty. Why did I buy all these things? Why did I spend all this money on these things? That money could have gone to something much better, like paying off the mortgage of my house, getting ready for retirement. I recently had my 60th birthday. And that has caused a lot of, awakening moments for me. And I would say that I am really evaluating now, what do I need and what don't I need? Well, when I emptied the room and I stripped everything down, let's take my living room. I needed my TV cabinet that's built right into the wall and my TV is in there. Yes, we use our TV. We use our TV to watch movies. I use the TV at night to relax before I go to bed. It's kind of a family bonding time. We'll watch something interesting. Right now, I'm watching Modern Love on Netflix or maybe Amazon. Oh my goodness, I love Modern Love. It's the cutest little vignettes about true, maybe a little fictional love stories in New York City, and it's just amazing. So anyway, the TV had to stay. And then, okay, how are we gonna watch the TV? Well, we need our sofas. So those two sofas I love, and they get to stay. So we have our sofas. And then I thought, okay, well, we have the ottoman in the middle of the sofas, and that's where we put our feet, so that gets to stay. But we had our old leather chair, and this leather chair was something that I actually bought at a store, and it used to be Alice's. But when I moved around the furniture, that old leather chair looked terrible in that room. So it had to go. It went to the barn, and I took it out, and now I had empty space. I put up one side table, maybe two if I can find another little one, to put drinks on, because when we're sitting on the sofa, we want to put our drinks down because we're drinking. All right, that's all we needed in the room. Then I had a huge empty space by the fireplace. I moved all of the fireplace paraphernalia out. We had places to put wood and more places to put wood and more places to put wood. We had 3 places to put wood, but no wood in those 3 places. So I moved that all out and I decided to bring in my high back make do chair. Oh my goodness. Yes, it's not the most comfortable to sit at, but it does work in a pinch for seating and it looks fantastic in that corner. Then above the fireplace, so I got one of my pictures of the sea that's on my website. You can get it at Ann Clay The Primitive Home. And I got the biggest one, and that is all I put there. I kept the mantle free. I just put that up on a nail that was already there, and I left it. Then with the bare windows and that one sea print, it just looks so airy. On the shelf by the windows, I have one light. It's called an Innkeepers Lamp, and I love it. That again is from Woodstock Country Shop, actually. It's a beautiful Innkeepers Lamp. And I have that and a nice picture of my great-grandpa and family and grandpa. He's a little boy, it's so cute. And then next to that is a small box where my daughter keeps her wallet and her keys and her masks. When she comes home, she always wanted to dump them on there. So I got a little box there that she could dump them in the box, close the box, and that's it. Underneath that shelf is one trunk. That trunk is special to me because that humpback trunk was my great-grandpa's. So now I have my great-grandpa's humpback trunk under a picture of his family. And it's very clean, it's very crisp, it's beautiful. I do have a small area rug under that trunk because when I move that trunk around, instead of scratching up the floor, I can just push it around on that rug because it's very heavy. And that trunk is full of photographs, family photographs. So it is something that I'm gonna have to go through eventually, but right now it's storing all those family treasures before I get in the middle of decluttering that. I took all the things down that were hanging on nails, even though they looked wonderful. I took them down. I left one picture up next to the TV because I really like that picture there. I have my 2 plain ladder back chairs there that make a beautiful art statement, and I don't do anything else with them, and I don't let people sit on them either. You can ask my niece and nephew. And then I put a big, huge clock right on that one wall. Way oversized. It has a rope. The rope kind of echoes the idea. It looks like a sea rope, so it echoes the idea of what is in on over the fireplace. And that is it, guys. Clean and clear. I can go through and vacuum. Things are so much easier to access, and it has turned into a wonderful thing. So much less stuff in that room, and it just feels so much better. But I wanted that more sparse feeling, and I feel like in my living room, I got it. So I've done all the rooms, and I'm gonna be showing them to you. I'm still working on my kitchens. There's a few things that we need to do, like put in the dishwasher, tear out a cabinet, put in some new countertops, and I need Tom for all of these projects. Plus, I'm gonna be doing some really great old signs for the wall. The thing about emptying your home and then bringing things in is 1, you can choose what you really love. 2, you can choose what's really beautiful to you and that you want to accentuate. And 3, you have some breathing space to really enjoy those pieces. And it gives you a really good opportunity to practice things like balance and scale and all kinds of design concepts. You can see color and texture, balance and scale, shape. All of those things go into play when you have less items in your home. If you do the cluttered look, you don't have to worry as much about that because you just start piling things in, and it's really pretty easy to put things together that are alike and make it work. But it's a lot harder to go in and to really look and scrutinize everything you have and balance it. This would look good here, but this doesn't look good here unless this is over here. and it becomes this whole balancing act, and you start to notice the fabrics and the patterns and everything a whole lot more. So in future videos, we're going to be working on some of those design concepts. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe and ring that bell to get all my videos. I can't wait to go through all this with you. So until next time, see ya.